Monsters Inc. A very interesting concept about the monsters in a child's closet using the fear of children to power the entire city. However, deep down they fear us just as much as we fear them. Pixar did a very good job with this movie, though I don't see too many people have this as their favorite Pixar movie. But it's definitely one of the higher ups in terms of overall ranking. And this movie about giving scares, getting fears, and making profit off of that is about to be completely turned on its head. Monsters Inc. Scream Arena is a party game based all around the laughter that takes place after the movie, despite it being called Scream Arena. I'll let that sit with you for a solid minute. Monsters Inc. is also in the very recently released Kingdom Hearts 3, and don't worry, I'll be doing that review soon enough. But because it's going to take a while before I can get to that game to review it, but I still want to benefit off of Disney, today we'll be looking at Monsters Inc. Scream Arena. Monsters Incorporated is doing a shooting for a commercial about how this place basically controls the power of everything in the monsters' lives.
Oh yeah, man, I got those for my kid. Lights over here, cost me like $1.50. Yeah, $1.50 out of that kid.
Y'all know y'all owe me 5%, right? Like the whole world owe me 5%.
Bro, what is you talking about?
As I said earlier, this takes place after the movie, meaning they are using laughter for their source of power, even though this game is called Scream Arena. If you couldn't tell already, I'm not going to let that go. While Sully is horribly giving his lines similar to the movie, he all of a sudden is hit with a dodgeball. This then leads to more things happening by someone off screen, and then this scared me more than when they actually tried to scare people. Anyways, everyone basically just gets into a big dodgeball fight. For a party game, story doesn't exactly matter much, so I won't bash it. I don't really know of any party games that have much of a story at all, let alone a good one. The thing that mainly bothers me is that this takes place after the movie, and they're using the laughter from kids when the game is called Scream Arena. Unless you're talking about screaming with laughter, which still doesn't help your case in the slightest. The story works for what the game is, and there's not much to say that's not just me making a joke out of it. Jazzy tunes and jazz music in video games to me is pretty hard to mess up. Jazz in general for me is a great genre. This game also doesn't disappoint because this game is filled with jazz music, which may not be representative of the movie, but the jazzy theme song for Monsters Inc. is pretty well known, and I'm sure that's where part of this inspiration comes from. The rest would be the fact that jazz is something that Pixar likes to use a lot. Models for the monsters are pretty good aside from Sully. I'm not very upset at it though, because fur isn't the easiest thing to make look great, and to be honest, this could have looked so much worse than how it ended up being, and everyone else is fine, so I don't mind it too much. As far as the voice work, almost all the characters that return have the same voice actors from the movie. Some characters didn't really speak in the movie at all though, but for those few exceptions, the people that played them did good enough jobs for this game. The only character that didn't have the same one was Mike Wazowski, who was played by Carlos I can't pronounce. Wait. I remember you! You were the original Spyro! No offense to the original voice actor of Spyro, and I would try to say the name, but the last name is kinda difficult and I don't want to butcher it. That's actually crazy. Actually, let me see something real quick. Huh. He's gonna be Mike for KH3 as well. Well, it's a good thing his Mike Wazowski voice is good. I'll make sure to mention him in the KH3 review. I have to at this point. By the way, for those of you who may or may not have already commented that I messed up the transition page by putting the word presentation in front of Mike, watch the movie, because you didn't. It won't take you long to understand. There's a certain thing that you should notice. If you don't notice it after watching the movie, I'm sorry for you. Just keep watching it until you get it. It's not hard to understand. You start out with 5 playable characters at your disposal, and you're able to unlock 8 more. The whole game revolves around playing dodgeball in some locations of the Monsters Inc. universe. During matches, different kind of dodgeballs are around that the monsters can use. You are able to throw them straight forward or upwards so it can slightly home in on an opponent. You can also charge up the throws so that they'll go farther and faster. An exclamation point will appear over the person you're aiming at. One will also appear over you if you are aimed at. There is a dodge in the game that is a quick boost of speed to try and avoid getting hit by a ball or to run to a ball quickly to pick it up. But there is a wait time before you can do it again, so you'll have to be careful with the timing of it or you run the risk of getting hit regardless. The two most important dodgeballs to take note of are the basher and red balls. Bashers are the most common and basic ball that exists with no effects on it. The red ball can be used as a projectile or block other dodgeballs from hitting you if you angle it right. Block high for high throws and low for normal throws. There are also dodgeballs with various effects affecting someone when they are hit, how it travels, and more. There are different game modes for this game as well. Hits, where the person with the most points after a set amount of time wins, knock 'em out, where the last man alive wins, and keep away, where whoever has held a glowing green ball the most after a set amount of time wins. There are also some mini games.
Break the targets!
No, it's targets. It's just targets. Not break the targets. It's the same thing, but it's targets. But anyways, targets has you breaking destroying marked objects used to be aimed at before time runs out. There is also defend, where you have to avoid getting hit by dodgeballs until time runs out. I'm pretty content with the roster that this game has for its characters. Of course, you have Sully, Mike, and Randall, but you can also play as the other monsters that you'll recognize from the movie, and you can even play as a CDA agent and Boo, which were the two biggest surprises for me that I liked a lot. For the most part, throwing the dodgeballs around work out well, especially for the fact that throwing them upward can home in slightly, but you can still dodge them. There is a good amount of strategy to this game, which also comes from the types of dodgeballs that appear, so you need to remember what they do in terms of throwing them and getting hit by them. There is one stage that is atrocious when it comes to aiming, because you can also aim at other objects in the game which don't do anything, but other than that, the mechanic of throwing the dodgeballs works out pretty well. And as I said earlier, the music is very, very nice to listen to, but then again, I'm very easily impressed when it comes to jazz music, so maybe, just maybe, I'm alone in that, but I don't know. Every character feels the exact same. I know that this is a party game, so it shouldn't matter, but this isn't a Mario Party ripoff where it makes sense for everyone to play the same so that it's fair. This is essentially a 3D arena fighter where the difference in character attributes are more important. This should have an even higher priority because what made the monsters so interesting was the abilities that they had for scaring the kids in the movie. Of course, they don't do that in this game because it's after the movie. In fact, interaction with kids is almost nothing, but it's not like the skills don't exist. And choosing a character would make some form of difference and add to actually being able to laugh at it, which is definitely what this game is going for. Like for instance, Sully could have used his roar that he's famous for, and it would stun people in the range of it for a short amount of time due to fear. Randall could turn invisible for a short amount of time. He would still be able to get hit, but it would be harder to actually aim at him. Mike could use solar flare or something, I don't know. All of the monsters could have done something unique, and it was a really big missed opportunity. But you want to know what all of this was put into? The dodgeballs that you throw. Some of them are cruel and I'm fine with, like the hamster ball, ghost ball, and yo-yo ball. I see where K Street got that idea from now, and I'm upset. But the other thing that annoys me about this is that almost half of the dodgeballs are basically different versions of stunning someone. You have 20 different types, and almost 10 of them are practically the same. There is a huge lacking of stage interaction. There is a little bit, but this game relies on slapstick humor. It doesn't feel like there's a lot, and having more of that could have helped to add humor to this game that is called Scream Arena. Yeah, I'm not done with that. You thought I was, but I'm not. It annoys me, and I'm going to point out that it annoys me. I unlocked everything in about 2 hours. Now, I don't really mind that in this case, mainly because this is a party game. I don't expect there to be a lot to unlock, unless there are like concept art, music, and stuff like that. That's perfectly fine. The reason why I do mind it and why unlocking everything wasn't less than 2 hours was because of the AI. In some of the later matches, either all of the AI completely targeted me, or the AI will basically just stand still the entire time. The AI also never prioritizes getting the glowing ball and keep away, which is the whole objective. You're supposed to go after it. They'll knock it out of your hands, but they won't go for the ball. Basically, keep away was an instant win anytime that I played it. The AI is so off and on this game. Either they will just abuse you, or they'll abuse themselves, which makes no sense. I was able to cheat through some of the levels of the game, and part of it was because of how some of the stages are designed. I could avoid getting hit by just running through doors over and over again, and I managed to find a particular spot for a defend mission where I could just hold the ball high and I would never get hit. Even if it went low, it would just go straight through me. The reason this isn't in the bad segment is that this doesn't occur on that many stages, and defend is for single player. Plus, I think that was just a really rare occurrence that I got it, and me in video games. For some reason, I just find any possible glitch that I can. I don't know why, but it just happens. Movie scenes for levels are from the movie and don't make sense with what's going on for the game, mainly because these scenes take place during the movie while the game itself takes place after. So things like simulations for scaring shouldn't be a thing, and Mike and Sully being scared of Boo shouldn't be a thing either. I guess this is supposed to be a reminder of where this level actually is in the movie. Thankfully, they are optional to view and to my knowledge aren't even in multiplayer, so that's why it's not even in the bad segment. This game doesn't do much for me. There are plenty of other license-based games that do what this game is trying to do a lot better. Want an arena fighter? Shrek Super Slam. Want slapstick humor? Tom and Jerry War of Whiskers. Want a party game? There are tons of other games with more recognition, whether for better or worse. I didn't even know this game existed until this year. It's not even bad enough to be joked on by a lot of people, which debatably is actually worse in a lot of people's mindsets. This is one of the few games I've seen where you really only play it if you're bored of the other party games you've already played, you're curious, or as a way to make content. Which one of those I am, you can decide for yourselves. What's going on, my fellow residents? It's me, TheFrozenCavern, and thank you guys for making it to the end of this video. As I said at basically the beginning of this review, I am going to be doing a review for Kingdom Hearts 3, but Kingdom Hearts 3 is a much longer game than any of the other games in the past that I have done, and will be longer than most of the other games I will do in the future. So in the meantime, I'm going to be having a few Disney games to try and work around that up until I have my review for Kingdom Hearts 3 ready. So you will have to be a little bit patient on that, because as much as I'm going to be playing that game, which is going to be a lot, I still have to take the time to actually, play the game and then give my proper thoughts on everything. Plus it's a bigger game anyway, so there's probably going to be a lot more that I have to talk about than how I do with most of my reviews. But don't worry, that review is 100% going to be happening. I don't have an actual idea on when it's going to happen, but I will try to have it out as soon as possible. But in case you aren't already, go follow all of my social medias, which are all in the description. My Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Discord are in the description, so make sure you follow those. That way, you'll be able to know whenever I upload a new video, or whenever I have an idea for another review video that I want to do, or know whatever video I'm going to be doing next, as well as other stuff. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe, as well as share with your friends for more, because I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible, really. And I feel like doing these Disney games as well as Kingdom Hearts 3 is really going to help with that, and hopefully it does. But until next video, take care.
I want you for a